In Minnesota, it's a protected constitutional right, and no governor can change that.
Scott Jensen, a candidate for governor in Minnesota who's, of course, using a baby as a prop in his political ad. But that's not the reason why I want to talk about it. I want to talk about the fact that he has done a complete 180 on his anti-abortion messaging after he realized, oh, it turns out that big government control of women's bodies is not so popular, even in some red states, by the way. I mean, we've talked about Kansas overwhelmingly voting down a ballot initiative that would amend their state constitution to do away with reproductive rights. Kansas, not exactly a blue utopia, but nonetheless, Scott Jensen did change his tune after some polling indicated that the voters he's trying to attract, the voters he wants to vote for him to be the next governor of Minnesota, not in favor of his messaging on abortion. So previously he had said this, quote, "I would try to ban abortion," Jensen vowed in a March interview with Minnesota Public Radio. In the past, he has also said he would work to ban it without exceptions for rape and incest unless the mother's life is in danger. Fascinating. Now, with voters outraged at that message and with a pretty significant dip in the polls, he decided to do a 180 and put out this ad.
I've delivered 500 babies in my career. Abortion is divisive, and Tim Walz is weaponizing the issue. In Minnesota, it's a protected constitutional right, and no governor can change that. And I'm not running to do that. I'm running because we need safe streets, excellent schools, parental rights, and more money in the family budget. That's what I'll fight for. Let's focus on the issues that matter.
Is that what you'll fight for? Is that what you'll fight for? Honestly, it's unclear what you would fight for, because much like other Republican candidates and lawmakers in this country, he had no problem using women and babies as props for his political mission, for his personal political ambitions. That's who this guy is. But he's a dime a dozen, and that's what I really want to focus on here. Because these are not individuals who have principles. These are not individuals who genuinely believed that abortion is an issue dealing with life and death. They saw it as a wedge issue that they could exploit for their own power accumulation, for their own political ambitions, with absolutely no regard for the impact that it would have on people's lives. You know, everything that we've heard from Republicans about how they believe life begins at the moment of conception, all life is precious, we already knew they were lying about that. We can see it in the policies that they support, policies that usually involve austerity, cutting funding to social services that help keep children fed, clothed, sheltered, alive. They're the ones who want to cut funding to those programs. They're the ones who want to dismantle public education. They're the ones who don't even want to help a damn person who can't afford higher education have the funding necessary to get higher education. That's who these people are. They have shown us time and time again that they don't care about people's lives at all. You have people in prisons across this country right now getting raped on a regular basis, getting murdered on a regular basis. If they care about human lives so much, interesting, curious that they never bring up those issues. They never want to deal with those issues. They have been hypocrites on the issue of life and death. I mean, as long as I've been alive, as long as I've known Republican politics. And look at how easy it was for him to turn around and do a complete 180 on an issue that he claimed to care so much about, an issue that he demagogued, an issue that has a huge impact, economic impact, by the way, on people's lives, women's lives. Now, just how badly was he destroyed in the polling after he had come out with his anti-abortion messaging? Well, Jensen, who trailed the incumbent governor, Tim Walz, by 5 points in the spring, is now down by 18 points. And that's according to the latest poll from KSTP/Survey USA. And, you know, credit to all the people out there who put together these wonderful ads attacking Jensen for who he claimed to be, for the comments he had previously made about banning abortion. I want to give you one example. Here is an ad from Wrong for Minnesota.
If you were governor, would you try to impose new restrictions on abortion, or would you try to ban it outright?
I would try to ban abortion.
I don't even know where to start with that.
It's awful. It makes me furious.
No politician should make decisions like that for me.
It is incredibly dangerous to ban abortion.
A woman should not be criminalized for having an abortion.
It's very alarming.
Scott Jensen is extreme.
Incredibly extreme.
Scott Jensen's plan is too extreme for Minnesota.
Damn right. I love that ad. And Democrats need to put out more ads like that. They need to stay on this message because clearly Americans, including many conservatives in this country, do not want the government determining what someone can or cannot do with their own body. People understand that. People understand that this is government overreach. And one other thing that's important about putting out these types of messages is it seems to have fired women up to register to vote. They're becoming more politically engaged, and that is a good thing. So, for instance, if you look at voter registration in some of these red states that have either already restricted abortion, banned abortion, or are planning to do so, you can see that there is a gender gap in voter registration, with women registering much more than men in these states. So, for instance, you have Kansas. I talked about Kansas earlier and how they voted down that ridiculous ballot initiative that would have done away with reproductive rights in their state's constitution. There's a 40% gender gap in new voter registration in the state of Kansas. You also have Idaho, 18% gender gap, obviously 18% more women registering to vote in that state than men. In Wisconsin, it's 17%, Louisiana, 13%, Arkansas, 12%, Pennsylvania, 12%, Ohio, 11%. People are motivated, they're engaged, and it's actually kind of miraculous because we went from thinking not too long ago that Democrats don't stand a chance. They're definitely going to lose Congress after the midterms. Now it's really up in the air. I don't want to get too confident about it, but it seems as though with all this new voter registration, with all these people fired up about their rights being stripped away from them, Democrats could stand a chance here. And finally, I want to leave you with this. We've shared so many polls indicating that Americans are against restricting reproductive rights. Well, here's another one. A Kaiser Family Foundation poll last month found that while economics remained a prime motivating factor, interest in abortion is rising, with the percentage of voters who call abortion access very important, up 9 points since February. And you can understand why. You know, it's easy to take rights for granted. Once they're taken away from you, you understand the gravity of no longer being able to make decisions about your own life and your own body. So I love to see all these clowns run away from what they campaigned on, but don't let them lie to you and make themselves appear as though they're these wonderful moderates. Fact of the matter is, we don't know what they stand for, because all they seem to really care about is their own political careers, and they'll say and do anything necessary to succeed in their political careers, even knowing that it would hurt Americans' lives. We don't need more of those clowns in Congress or in, governorships across this country. We need actual leaders who do the right thing and actually protect the rights and freedoms of Americans.